What makes your book, Your Body is Speaking, what makes your book a little bit different?
I'm so glad you asked that question because recently I had a cohort of people read the book and come in and give me feedback and talk about what it was. And someone said, and I loved it so much, she said, your book is not a self-help book. Your book is a self-hope book. And I was like, wait, did we just create like a new category in Barnes & Noble? That to me lit me up, and here's why. I'm not trying to fix anybody. I'm not saying you're broken. I'm not saying there's a problem. What I'm saying is I am here to help you remember the intelligence within you and help you.
Hi, I'm Glennis Woods Mullins, and I love to help women to vibe, to be more vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and empowered in midlife. So come on, let's vibe.
We all have experience in our lives where we've met people who have left a really deep mark or impression on our lives. At least I hope we've all had that experience. I know I have had that experience, and that's the case with my friend Jen Paz. She is an incredible human being, but more than just that, she has really done so much for women when it helps them to come in contact with what's going on with their body in relation to their spirit. When you're talking about the idea of actually embodying your emotions through movement, Jen Paz is probably one of the premier experts in that field. And that's why I'm so glad to have her here today to talk about her new book. I'm so excited for you and so proud of you as well. I could tell you that the book Body Talks is just going to be an amazing thing. And we are recording this right before the book releases on September 30th. So I want to make sure before we get into the discussion, take a look at the show page and all the links there to her site and to her book. It's just wonderful having you here on the V.I.B.E podcast today.
Yay, so much. I adore you. I love you. I love your community, and I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you. And let me make sure I correct the name. It's not Body Talks. Your Body is Speaking.
There you go.
It's not
Your
body
per
is
se.
speaking.
Yeah.
And it's an embodied approach to unlock your innate intelligence, honor your truth, and elevate your life from the inside out. And I know you have been working years to try to get people to understand your vision. And you finally, I think, have pulled everything together with your book, with your recent TED Talk. Tell us a little bit about how this all started, because this has really been more about the journey than our destination in terms of how this all came together.
Oh my gosh, I so appreciate you. Thank you. And the journey is important because it really does lead to this incredible body of work that I am so passionate about getting out into the world, because I think that this is the most important work that we can do. I truly do. In order to live fulfilled and aligned and powerful, we have to listen to our body's wisdom. It's a real thing. And we have been taught to live in the mind for way too long. And it is time to bring the body into the conversation. So it all started, I'll do this very briefly. It started as when I was in school. I was feeling disembodied, disconnected from the truth of who I am because I developed a story about myself that I wasn't smart. In school, everything was presented when I was a child in a linear, logical, mathematical way that didn't resonate with me. And so everything was measured against SAT scores and IQ scores, and I didn't measure up in that way. I didn't know my intelligence at that time. So I thought I wasn't smart, and that story took deep root in my soul and disconnected me from my power. And this was about 20 years of debilitating self-doubt that really, I have so many layers and stories in that, and a lot of which I talk about in my book. The reconnection started in my late 20s. When I was 28, I hit my rock bottom moment, and I decided enough was enough. And I needed to figure out who I was, how I learned, and gain my power back. So I found the research of Howard Gardner. He was a Harvard professor and psychologist, and Daniel Goleman, a science journalist and psychologist. And both of these men have done extensive research on two forms of intelligence that we all innately have. We just don't know how to tap into it, or a lot of us don't. That's kinesthetic intelligence, which is the body's physical ability to be able to help us learn and process and express through movement, and emotional intelligence, which is our innate ability to connect to what we need and have the awareness within and the awareness of others. When I found this research, I was like, oh, how come nobody told me that there were multiple forms of intelligence? I thought for 20 years that I was not smart. So I dug deeper. I started to heal. I went on a strong healing journey through this work that I did, empowering children through the arts, through the body. For 20 years, I taught curriculum in schools to children and teachers, a very specific, beautiful methodology, but totally ironic that I found it. It's kinesthetic learning and emotional learning together. There was a method that supported this whole community, and it supported my healing journey. And when the pandemic hit, everything shut down. I could no longer teach in the schools because everything was closed. And I knew that I could help keep people connected, embodied, powerful, help them remember. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I knew that I could help. So I showed up in the Zoom space, and I wanted to stay connected closely to the people, to feel their energy. So I needed to look into their eyes. And I know the kinesthetic intelligence is within all of us. So I just started asking them to use their hands, not their full body. We weren't going to get up into this big dance thing. I needed them to stay close so I could feel them. So I started asking people to embody their emotions with their hands, the frustration, the doubt, the pain, whatever it was. And what I found was in those moments of that kind of emotion, self-doubt, insecurity, pain, all of it, fear, the gestures contracted. And then when people embodied the confidence, the power, the liberation, because that's where we would get to, the gestures would expand. So in this small frame, what I witnessed for 4 straight years was wild transformation, learning that there is this universal understanding through gesture around contraction and expansion, and how our hands can really shift our inner knowing and activate that wisdom within. So I did the research. I found that there's a lot of brain-hand connection, did a ton of research on that, trademarked the power of gesture, and now this is my somatic-based embodiment bodyset practice that helps people really awaken this intelligence and learn how to trust it.
And I love that you've added the somatic-based part in the definition. And I've watched you grow this power of gesture. And I think the way you're explaining it and putting it in layman's terms really helps people to understand and embody what it is that the power of gesture is. Because basically, according to your research that you've done, you said there's approximately 40,000 nerve endings in our hands that send messages to our brain all day long. And the interesting thing is that the mindset, as you say, will transform how you think, but body set transforms how you feel. And the thing that's so amazing about this is that so many times with our feelings, we allow our feelings to sometimes define what it is we do, how we think, and everything else. But the good thing about the body set is that it puts you in touch with those feelings in a way that perhaps you've never been able to communicate before. And you're no longer necessarily taking those feelings and applying it to something else. Now you know what those feelings are, and you're able to deal with them appropriately and adjust them accordingly. I do feel that feelings aren't always necessarily representative of what's going on right now. It's representative of a sum total of so many things that have happened to you in the course of a lifetime. And sometimes words aren't even enough to express it, but to be able to use your hands and other parts of your body, be able to communicate those true, deep, dark feelings, and not having come out some other way that would cause hot messes. That are the most.
I love so much of what you're saying. That something that I'm really feeling deeply is that there is this intelligence within us that we, like you're saying, sometimes we push the emotions away. We're not really listening. We need to know that this is rooted in research. We need to know that there is science behind this practice, the power of gesture. So if we start taking that seriously, then we will start paying attention to ourselves more seriously and allow, like you said, the emotions inside of us mostly are connected to experiences throughout our life. We've created this vocabulary of experiences and emotions, right? And they're all here to teach us, not hurt us. That's what I've really learned about our emotions, is that when we realize they are intelligent, they actually become our teachers. We become the students. So we need to like surrender and listen, right? This practice is about listening deeply. And I teach you how to do that because that's not an easy thing to do. And it sounds like what? But we do it well in this practice. And so the biggest point I'm trying to make is that we need to take it seriously, because this to me, I believe, is the ingredient for powerful leadership in every aspect of our life. Leading children as a parent, leading students as a teacher, coaches as for athletes, or corporations or CEOs. We have to get embodied and know who we are, what we stand for, what these emotions are and what they mean in order to lead in the strongest way possible.
It's interesting because we're in very interesting times right now. I would say in most cases, a lot of us are feeling so disconnected, disconnected to each other, even disconnected to ourselves. We're finding feelings coming up within us that we thought were long dead and gone, that actually are still there. They've never gone anywhere. They didn't have anywhere to go. There wasn't necessarily a process. It's interesting because I was thinking the other day with the whole COVID experience, we lost 1 million people. We had loved ones who were sick in the hospitals for days, and some who are still, that's my door closing, and some of us who are still suffering from the symptoms of COVID. As a nation, we did not have any kind of treatment process to help us manage our emotions, to help us work through those feelings. The trauma of it is all sitting right in our bodies right now. And of course, as the body keeps the score. And I'm just wondering, when it comes to what it is that you are doing and the whole idea of embodiment, how can your book help people to process some of those emotions and move through some of the trauma that was caused by and other things that just happened in the course of our lives?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing is that the invitation to the emotions, all of them, to be heard is a key ingredient, because I find in the people that I have worked with, which is a lot at this point since COVID, because COVID, people were desperate for something and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And we tend to push things away. I wish I didn't feel this way. I don't want to feel that way. She's better than me. He's better than me. Why can't I do? It's all these questions and this external measurement. When we allow the pain and the trauma and the disconnection, all of those tough emotions to be heard as opposed to trying to push them away, that alone, just that, lowers the volume on the disconnection and the pain that we have inside of ourselves. The more we push it away and try to get rid of it, the louder it gets in our body, and then our nervous system just continues to get out of whack. But if we just use the power of gesture to listen and allow it to be heard, that voice really tends to soften and our nervous system tends to calm down, so we can then gain the clarity to see what it is we want to do next with this intelligence. So the answer is really, the first part is really listening. I have something that I love to offer your guests that speaks to your question. It's a tangible tool that people can use to start doing this work. It's an acronym, GIFT, right? I believe that this is the gift inside of us. We have the answers within us. We can serve the world all from the inside out. It is our gift to listen, and we're able to. So the G is ground. And what ground is in my work is bodyset. Hand on your heart, hand on your belly, closing your eyes, and starting to just calm the mind, calm the body. That's ground. We bodyset. I is imagine. So using our imagination to really see the experience. And this is what I was talking about. If you're talking to someone and they're triggering you and you're feeling all out of whack, instead of judging yourself and saying, God, why am I feeling this way? I wish I didn't feel this way. Why am I? Hear it, see the experience, see the conversation, see the conflict, see whatever it is. Because when we see it and use our imagination, we can feel it, which is F. Because a lot of times people can't feel their emotions so easily. They need to see it first, see an experience, use their mind, then they can feel. So ground, imagine, don't be afraid of it, just see it, feel it, and T is transform, using the power gesture. So then we use, let's say you had that anxious moment and it's like this. I'm just doing a gesture of wringing out a towel near my heart center. So we just allow that to be. It speaks to what I was saying. Let that voice be heard. Understand why, not why, like, why are you doing this judgy way, but inform me. What do you need right now? Why are we triggered? Hearing it. Then we create the second gesture. So we ground again, use our imagination, and see ourselves in that calm, clear, confident place. Maybe calling on a recent experience that we've done where we're standing on a stage and we're feeling fully confident, or we're in that relationship and we're feeling love and joy. We use our mind to put us in that place. We feel that emotion and then we transform. So the second gesture might be that expansion. So you're feeling that love and confidence. My hands now are moving outward. Then we link them together. Allow the first gesture and then call in the second gesture of confidence and let them move in and out, being heard, being seen, being validated by each other. It's like an internal family. Everyone's just trying to be heard over here. So that is, if that answers, I know that was a long-winded answer, but your question was like, how can someone use this? I think that's what you asked.
And you talk about on your website, if someone's looking for a body-based healing or somatic therapy, or they're looking for a mindfulness or self-help book that goes beyond the traditional approaches, or perhaps they're looking for tools of self-discovery and personal growth and even emotional resilience, of which we really need these days. Your holistic health approaches that can integrate more of the mind-body approach. Or if you're looking for an empowering book that really helps with women's leadership and intuitive living, you say, this is the book for you. And I think about this book, because you're right, there are a lot of self-help books that are out there, and there's a lot of information that is out there. What makes your book, Your Body is Speaking, what makes your book a little bit different?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because recently I had a cohort of people read the book and come in and give me feedback and talk about what it was. And someone said, and I loved it so much, she said, your book is not a self-help book. Your book is a self-hope book. And I was like, wait, did we just create like a new category in Barnes & Noble? That to me lit me up, and here's why. I'm not trying to fix anybody. I'm not saying you're broken. I'm not saying there's a problem. What I'm saying is I am here to help you remember the intelligence within you. I'm here to help you remember and to be guided back to who you are. This is what it is. It's already there. Everything is already there. We don't need to go out and buy this or that and get fixed. No, it's just about making room for the intelligence that's already there to come through and be heard.
That's interesting, because I've always believed that everything we really need to be able to thrive here on Earth while we're here has already been placed within us. But there's been so many distractions and so many other things that have happened that push some of those things further and further back. And sometimes we need a little bit of help to help bring it forth. And that's really what your book does. And I want everybody to know that if you purchase the book before September 30th, by September 30th, is that correct? That you get special bonuses, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. When you buy the book, which you can go to my website and you'll see book at the top, on September 30th, you go there or just go to Amazon, buy the book, then return to my webpage and put your code in there. It will show you what to do and how to find that. And then you download all the bonuses. And I'm going to add a fourth. I just created a journal that maps through the book. It's a companion, and you can just get that once you purchase the book. So I'm really...
So for those of you who are listening and in the September of 2025, you definitely want to get the book by September 30th to get these wonderful downloads. I'm looking at the description of the downloads, and these are fantastic. You mentioned just one of them just when you were talking about embracing the nudge. just flipping the switch and transforming your inner dialogue. The I did that game, rewiring your confidence, such critical tools that we all need, especially right now. These are confusing times. And if you happen to be a midlife woman and going through what's going on with your body, it can be overwhelming. It doesn't feel like a double whammy, it feels like a triple whammy. But the good news is that there are helps out here. And definitely Jen S. book is one of the books you want to add to your library, read and use and go back to refer and share with your friends. The holidays are coming up. This is a great time to take advantage of this wonderful offer of being able to buy the book, Your Body is Speaking. When people read this book, Jen, what do you want them to take away?
That they are enough, that their voice matters, that their emotions are the voice and the intelligence they need to listen to not ignore when they're feeling anxious, worried, scared, to pause, to listen, to invite in, and to allow all of this wisdom to come through. So please, my biggest thing is don't deny your feelings. They're real, and they just need to be heard.
Absolutely. That is so true. Jen, thank you for spending these special moments. I wanted to make sure that we did this before your book was released and all these false starts, but we're here. And I'm so proud of you and how you have pursued your passion and turned it into something that's putting great value into the world for people to take advantage of. But most importantly, I have to tell you, everyone, that Jen gives bits of her heart out every single day. And so now this is a big bit of her heart in the form of a book. And you definitely need to check it out because it will change your life. Jen, thank you so much for being here on the V.I.B.E Living Podcast. It's been wonderful having you here.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you, Zach.
And thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget to check on the show page with the links for this wonderful book and also links to her website and social media. I'm so glad you took time out to listen. Don't forget to also get to listen to the other podcasts that are here. We have some fantastic interviews that we did in 2025, 2026, and beyond, should you listen to this at a later time. Thanks so much for listening. Have a fantastic day. And don't forget to vibe. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the V.I.B.E Living Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and share this podcast. Have a fantastic day, and don't forget to vibe. Bye-bye, everybody.